All right, everyone. It's that time of night. So, wow, that worked really well. Awesome. All right, so thank you all for coming. My name is Ronald Lee, and I run the Vancouver Business Marketing and Entrepreneur Meetup Group. And tonight I have the privilege of presenting on what I do here with Meetup.com, along with Iman, Aghay. So Iman, raise your hand for everyone who doesn't know who you are. He's sort of hiding behind the post, but he'll be presenting after me. Why? Because the both of us have been operating our Meetup groups for not too long, yet we've amassed quite a following on them. So it was actually Iman's idea to come up with an event to talk about how we create our own communities, because we have a different approach to that. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and that's why you're all here, I assume. So normally, I start off with a few announcements and whatnot, but maybe we'll expedite it a little bit because we have two speakers and we started a little late because of a technical problem with my computer. So I will ask this: how many of you guys are new to Meetup.com? This is your first event ever. Show of hands. Wow, not many of you guys. I'm really impressed. That means Meetup.com has really taken over Vancouver in terms of networking, which is great. How many of you guys are members of the Vancouver Business Network? Show of hands. Okay, maybe a good after room. Okay, how many of you guys are members of the Vancouver Business Marketing and Entrepreneur Meetup Group? Show of hands. So another 40%, so 10% of you guys didn't want to raise your hands, but that's okay. All right. So why don't we jump into it? And today, I'm going to be talking about how to start, build, and grow your community and network. So this is presented by me, of course. The slides here, by the way, if you guys aren't able to see that. And I have good news for you guys and bad news. So starting with the bad news. The bad news is that when I created this presentation, it came out to about 3 hours long. The good news is that I'm sparing you all the details and giving you the best stuff. So I condensed it to half an hour, starting now. So I condensed it to half an hour, but that means because I had to cut out a lot of the technical stuff. If you guys want to know more about Meetup.com in particular and how to do the technical side of running a group, just see me afterwards. I'll be happy to talk to you about that afterwards. What I'm doing today is that I'm going to be talking about, giving you points on leading communities and on growing your networks. So a question for you guys. Now, how many of you guys here is an expert on something? Show of hands. Wow, okay. Now, how many of you guys have a big idea? Awesome. Now, how many of you guys want to create a meetup around your big idea? So I see a lot of half raises, so a lot of you guys are shy. Okay. Now, how many of you guys are already running meetup groups right now? Show of hands. So maybe a good 10 of you guys. Last question. How many of you guys want to start your own meetup group and run that, or start your own community somehow, some way? So, oh, good. A good half of you guys. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, so let's hear some ideas for some of your big ideas that you want to start a group around. I'm really curious because one thing that I do as an organizer is I like to hear what you guys think and what you guys want and what you guys are up to. So maybe yell out a few groups that you want to start things about.
Professional speakers.
Professional speakers, okay. What else?
Stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy, okay, interesting. What other groups are about to emerge from today's talk?
Health and fitness.
Health and fitness?
Oh, the mind. Using the mind.
Using the mind. And Scott, do you have one?
Yeah, a meetup of parents and interested parties about what kids are learning in school and what they ought to be learning in school today.
And a meetup about parents and what kids ought to be learning in school. Okay, these are all worthwhile ideas, as we'll find out very shortly. So today we're going to be talking about three things. One, how to build your community. Two, organizer insights that I have gained from running meetups. I'll give you some more background about myself and how I came across these insights in a second. And third, keys to networking. Now, if there is time, because I am timing myself here, I'll give a bonus some bonus tips at the end. So what will happen for today, I'll be giving a presentation for about half an hour, then we'll have some time for some questions, and then Iman will come up and he'll give his presentation for half an hour, and the same thing, we'll have time for questions then. So next, who is Ronald Lee? Well, give you some background about myself. I started as a filmmaker, and when I started as a filmmaker, well, to backtrack even a bit further, I started as an actor, and then a writer, and then became a producer. So when I became a producer and entered the business of filmmaking, I came into that knowing almost nothing. So from there, I built my business acumen from having to go around and do film business deals and traveling the world. And that was quite an experience because the film industry is quite cutthroat. And from there, you know, I had a side interest in personal development and in coaching, lifestyle coaching in particular. So I became a relationship coach. That's where you have the heart over here. And this is something that I did for a number of years, and that forced me to learn a whole different set of skill sets. Because running a business as a coach, a consultant, or as an expert is much different from running a business as a filmmaker. Well, fast forward to about 2 years ago, I made the shift to marketing. Now, all this sort of happened concurrently. The film industry, you know, I cut that away, but the lifestyle coaching is now evolving into something else, into personal development, because that's really what my passion is. But I found along the way that I developed quite a good mastery of marketing and business in particular because of trying all these different things. So now I'm working on doing a few more things in business. One thing in particular I'm doing is creating a restaurant marketing company. Second thing is an add-on to the marketing business I do already, which helps business consultants and expert service providers get to the top of your field and blow away competitors to become the obvious choice. I'm adding a video service to that as well, which is on the back of those sheets you guys would have got when you came in. So that's what I have coming up. As well, I'm also writing a book on Meetup.com with Meetup.com's endorsement. So we've been in contact about stuff. So this is what, where a lot of my information I've actually been thinking about for a while for this book. Now, I run a number of meetup groups. I actually run 9 right now, but I'll be starting 2 more very soon. And for my groups, I run the Vancouver Business Marketing Entrepreneur, which is where most of you are from, or half of you guys are, you know. And in this group, I started about 2 years ago, and they grew quite fast. It became the fastest growing group over the last 2 years, and we're about to hit 1,500 members. The other group I run for business is the Vancouver Coaches and Consultants, because as a consultant myself and a coach myself, I had some insights on how to help other coaches. So this is something where I'm operating within my expertise. So part 1, anyone can build a community. Everyone here in this room today, you have the power and ability with all the tools we have and what you'll learn from today and from Iman on how to go out there tonight and start some form of group. However, I contend that you have to be a leader. I've seen many people try to start groups, but in the end, maybe they fizzle out or they lose enthusiasm or just things don't happen. And because there's always a lack of leadership. So what does this mean then? Well, when you're talking about a community, you're talking really about a tribe. So a tribe is where normally there's a grand poobah, and then you have a number of little warriors running around hunting and bringing back food, right? Or going out there gathering berries. So according to Seth Godin, who is one of my favorite authors, I have all his books, he equates communities to tribes and calls a tribe a group of people connected to one another, connected to a leader, and connected to an idea. So when you create your community, it has to be around your idea. So why would you want to create a community? What are some benefits to that? Well, if you have a community around your idea, that means you have other people who are in support of that same idea. Essentially, you have a group of evangelists for you, people who are willing to act if you ask them to, people who will give you feedback, people who will steer you in the right direction if you're not going the way that you think, if you're not going the way that will succeed. And by having a community, basically you have an engaged group of people who you can connect with at any moment. So that means if you, say you had a huge community of, maybe you had a huge online community and you had everyone's email address. Well, one day you had this great offer for this great ebook and you broadcast this offer to your community via the email list and you have a bunch of sales. Well, that actually has been done many, many times if you're in the internet marketing arena. In terms of live communities, there are a lot of live communities going on today that make change. The most obvious one I can think of is the HST movement or the anti-HST movement. So right now, Bill Vander Zalm is rallying the troops and he's got a community behind him. Not because he's necessarily a good leader. And if you ask my friend back there, I won't point him out, he's quite corrupt. But what he's done and what other people do is that they find the big idea and they jump on it and they create a gathering around that. So the big idea for Bill Vander Zalm is, we don't want the HST. So there are a lot of benefits to having a community. Now, a community is really a leader and followers. Now, without being a leader, you're not going to have anyone follow you. If you can't lead ants to a picnic, well, good luck leading, a large group of people to do more when you want them to. So why you must be a leader and how? Well, what does it mean to be a leader, particularly when it comes to running a community or running a group? Well, there are a lot of attributes to being a leader of a community. One, you have to be generous. Two, you have to be acting in the group's best interest. So you're not actually doing things for your own benefit. Three, you're doing things that might make you uncomfortable. So you're willing to stand out. You're willing to be a voice. Four, you're willing to take initiative. You're willing to go out there and make things happen. And five, you're willing to spread your idea and promote your idea to more and more people. Because essentially, the reason why your group survives is because you are such a strong proponent of your idea that you infect other people with it. So this is where Seth Godin calls it the idea virus.